I'm Paul Kurgis, and I'm the Dean of the Alexander Blewett III School of Law here at the University of Montana. Our goal at the Blewett School of Law is to train the next generation of lawyers who will serve our state, our region, and our nation. We consider it our obligation to educate students from across this state, from our rural communities in eastern Montana to our tribal communities. To do that, we need to make the cost of legal education affordable. Scholarships do that. Scholarships bring legal education into range for students who might not otherwise be able to afford it. Scholarships are a way for us to bring our community together, to give our alums a chance to pay it forward to the next group of students coming through this law school. I hope you'll enjoy hearing from some of our students who have benefited from your generosity as they describe the impact of scholarship giving on the pursuit of their dreams and passions. Thank you.
I mostly grew up in Alaska, but my parents were teachers and got jobs abroad when I was younger. And what I really took away from that experience was the idea that the American legal system, the American government system just was something that I felt very passionate about and that I was really proud of. So coming back to the United States, I went back to Alaska and just knew that I have a strong passion for being involved in how our communities are organized, how our government is upheld, and the law.
I spent the better part of my 20s working kind of manual landscape maintenance jobs. And then my daughter was born, and that kind of caused me to reassess my life. I went back to school at Salish Kootenai College and got my degree in elementary education while completing an endorsement for special education through UM Western while I was there. And found the teaching profession to be very rewarding, and kind of eventually slowly figured out that if I wanted to make any real change, I couldn't do it from the classroom. I'd have to get the tools to attack the law itself and go and make higher level changes. One of the things that drew me in, I also talked to Professor Smith, who's now working for my tribe in the prosecutor's office. And she spoke very highly of the Indian Law Clinic here. And so that was something that really drew me into the University of Montana, because I grew up in Ronan on the reservation. I'm a member of the Salish Kootenai tribe. And so that was my focus coming in.
I worked in social services for a few years, primarily with mothers and children in a large immigrant population. And during that time, helping people with kind of other basic necessities, I just kept hearing about legal issues, and we relied on a lot of government funding, and there was just constant policy change. And we were all, it was such an unknown for all of us. And when I, started to consider a career shift, it just seemed natural that I was really interested in the law and how it was playing a role in people's lives.
There's a lot that makes Montana special. I think the top thing for me is that this school is just full of people who want to see you succeed, and it's a great community of support. There's a strong sense of making sure that we teach students that they are going to be a part of a community that is making Montana a better place. There's a strong sense that we want to give back. We want to use our law school degrees not just to make money, but to also help people who can't find or don't have access to lawyers, to make sure that the law progresses.
One of the things that I love about the law school is its size. It's a small community, it's a tight-knit community. I know every person in my class. And I think that just provides a really unique opportunity to develop personal and professional relationships before we all enter the workforce. The fact that the law school values how tight-knit the community of lawyers is in Montana is just one of the great aspects of attending law school here. I think that the law school's ability to connect us to career opportunities, to participate in the public discourse about legal issues in Montana. I think that those opportunities are wonderful for people in the shoes of a student, and allow this law school to have an outsized impact on law and policy in Montana.
There's so many people in the law school that speak up and do something that it makes it hard for you to just sit by and not do something.
I think the law school's strongest values really go back to being a lawyer in Montana. I think the values lie in, again, loving this state, loving the lands in this state, and the people in this state.
I came to Montana because the environmental law program is so well established, and I really thought I would be in that area of law, but as I came through the 1L program, I realized there was a lot of other fascinating areas of law that I was interested in, and I've since expanded my ideas of where I would like to practice. So environmental law is definitely one of the areas that I would love to be involved in, but employment law is also something I've been really interested in, specifically like how discrimination law and a lot of the Title IX, Title VII works is just really exciting to me.
I would envision myself being a Montana lawyer. I want to make my home in Montana. I'm originally from Kalispell. I could easily see myself going back up there. And then in terms of my practice, I probably foresee myself looking at a lot of business law and intellectual property, tax issues specifically, are what really interests me right now. But even more than that, just looking to see how I can serve my community.
I want to work with mothers and children and hopefully immigrant population to keep being an advocate and being a source of legal aid in whatever form that looks like, providing low cost or no cost services and helping people navigate this really confusing and convoluted legal system that I think what I want to do is people have such minor, quote unquote, minor legal issues that become really detrimental to their lives. And I want to help people navigate that.
I'm like guiding myself towards Indian law, it feels like at this point. I am interested in like the environmental aspect of it. Long term, I would like to be on my tribal council because I'd like to take some of that knowledge back home and do something more locally for my area that I grew up in and where I'm from.
Especially as an out-of-state student, I mean, it was, I was looking at a pretty hefty bill coming in, but the scholarship enabled me to come here and focus less on the amount I was paying and more on just the school experience. And now graduating, I mean, I definitely want to try to work in an area where I can give more back and not worry as much about getting the highest paying job. You can actually fulfill those goals and those values of giving back to the community, of maybe working for legal aid organizations or doing more pro bono. And that's pretty special. I think that enables the entire lawyering community to be better.
I am going to be very fortunate to probably graduate law school debt-free because of the scholarship. And that's not something that very many law students get to say. I don't feel like I have to maybe pick a job in a place that I don't want to live because I'm worried about being able to pay back what I owe for law school. So I think that aspect of it is huge. The other thing I think about how scholarships have affected my career choices is when you receive a scholarship, all of a sudden that communicates to employers that you're a person worth investing in. It makes me really proud to become, or to look forward to becoming a part of a community that values generosity. And values bringing up the next generation of people who work in this career field. It inspires me. It makes me want to do the same.
The philanthropy aspect of it is, I love that because that's the goal for me. Like, I would like to get enough money someday to where I can just give back. Like, it's not about accumulating wealth. Like, I hope to be on that list someday, giving back to the community, because that's for me is what it's about. And I've had a chance to meet some of the alumni here, just knowing that people are that much more invested in this place. Like, they don't just kind of toss it away once they're done with it. I hope to be a part of that group someday. That would be awesome to give back.
I wouldn't have been able to go to law school without scholarships. I couldn't have imagined it, and in deciding if and where to go to law school, scholarships were paramount in that. And so having a scholarship allows me to, go through law school without as much added stress. I'm able to, it doesn't just pay tuition, it helps long-term pay for my rent, which is really important in the time of Zoom university. And it's just also given me the ability, I was able to take a position I really wanted last summer unpaid. And I think that's in part thanks to scholarships. I think that's where so many of us who receive scholarships aspire to be in 10, 20 years, able to donate back to scholarships, because I think it's a valuable investment. I think it's, maybe personally I'm biased, but the most valuable investment you can make into a law school is into the students. Thank you, first and foremost, not just for me, but for everybody, to make it a reality to be able to live and go to school in Missoula is so special, and we get to live really great lives here while going to law school, and that's in part because of scholarships.